cloud. And I believe that I'm recording now. So let me do a quick sharing of my screen here. Share. So I believe that my screen now should be up there. Oh, I can still see some people over on the side. So that's cool. Awesome sauce. So I can move this too. All right. So excuse me while I get a couple of technical things worked out there, but I just want to welcome you all to the Zoomcast or the Zoominar or whatever you want to call this thing on the Zoom. Obviously, the name of this particular presentation is 7 Easy Ways to Share Your Creativity on Social Media. And I really appreciate you taking the time and kind of a last minute notice because I actually decided, I've been thinking about doing something like this for a while, but it was just yesterday that I decided to pull the trigger and just what the heck. There's no time like the present. And so I decided, chose a time and a topic and just started getting the word out last night and today. So I'm impressed by the number of you that heard about it and took the time to tune in, to trust me with an hour-ish of your time this evening. And so, we're going to be covering 7 easy ways to share your creativity in social media. And so even though based on the conversations we had before I hit record, many of you already know who I am, but just in case and just to refresh, or maybe you don't know the whole story, who is this guy that's doing this presentation? So my name is Bob Baker, and here is just sort of like a little quick image, 4 images of 4 areas of creativity that I've been immersed in for many years. So if we start at the lower left, and go ahead and nod, you can see my screen, right? Just now, okay, cool, thumbs up, all right, cool. And so my apologies to those of you who are maybe calling in by phone and aren't watching, but hopefully maybe you could activate that so you can see what's going on here. And so in the lower left, there is a photo of me singing and playing the guitar. So I've been a musician, God, since middle school, early high school. So that's 40 plus years. Used to play full time in my 20s and still continue to this day to play part time. It's always been a passion of mine, and I've kind of recorded and released probably about 7 or 8 albums worth of original material over 30 years-ish, and continue to play part-time and just love doing that. The image above that is sort of like my primary, I guess, vocation. I've been an author for 25 years now. I've published 15 physical books and then many other titles and resources that are in electronic formats like ebooks and audiobooks and online courses. I've done live workshops. I do one-on-one coaching, and I started off primarily in the topic of music marketing, which is probably what I'm best known for. I mean, it's going back to the 90s. But I've also published a number of books just for creative people in general, because I have a lot of creative interests, and I realized the message that I had for musicians was also beneficial to, artists and writers and actors and all sorts of other creative folks. And so those are just a sampling of some of my books there. And then to the right of that at the top is something that I've been doing a lot of in the last several years, but I teach and perform improv comedy, which is a great source of joy. I love the art form. I love not knowing, trusting that you're going to co-create something with another actor on stage. And I also, specialize in musical improv, being a musician, and even co-wrote a book with Laura Hall from Whose Line Is It Anyway? A couple of years ago. So that's a big fun part of what I do. And then on the lower right there is some examples of paintings. I also a visual artist, and I do acrylic painting. It's kind of probably on the lower on the totem pole as far as like what gets my time and attention and how I support myself. And so all of these things to various degrees generate income for me. The last time I had a day job was, it was 15 years ago. So and I've been self-employed many periods in my life, but the last 15 years for sure, with the kind of the author, expert, coach, teacher areas is what supplies the bulk of to support myself as a self-employed person. So that is one, and I've been very active online since the mid-90s. So when I talk about sharing your stuff, I've got a couple, 2.5 decades of experience that I'm bringing to the table here. So let me show you one other thing that's kind of cool. It's going to at first maybe seem like I'm bragging, but actually it's a point that totally ties into the subject matter here. And so in this image here, those are some logos of just some of the, call it media sources that I have been covered in all the years. And I guess the two prominent ones is NPR. I think I was on Morning Edition several years ago. I've been on also on, and this is national NPR, not like my local affiliate, but also Marketplace at a separate time. And then a bunch of other, The Guardian in the UK, and then just a lot of other, electronic magazine, Music Connection, and E! Online for various things. So I've been very blessed to get a lot of media coverage. And then that image over on the right is probably the book that I'm most best known for, is called the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook, which originally came out in, a crude version of it was published in like 96, yes. But it appeared in the movie The School of Rock, starring Jack Black in about 2004. So that's been a while, which was really cool. So let me ask you, how do you think those things came about? And I'm going to tell you, looking at all those logos, I did not go out and pursue, I don't think, any of those. I have pursued media coverage of maybe more locally and here and there, but most of the media coverage and these perks and high profile exposure that I've got, they actually came to me and asked me if I was like to be a guest or like to be quoted, or they asked me for a copy of my book for a movie. So why do you think that is? So one reason is, let me take a drink here. So one reason, yeah, it does help that I was an author. I'm sure that having that credibility of having a book out on the topic that they were searching for certainly helped a great deal. But I also contend that equally important was that because I've been so active online and sharing my advice and my tips and all this stuff for many years, that is my internet presence. Like when they sought out someone, they didn't only just find my book, but they found my website and blogs and YouTube videos and many things that all sort of lent to my credibility, and that I might be a good source to reach out to. So just want to point out basically that there are many benefits to sharing your work online. And so just know that, and that when you feel the frustration and the confusion and you just want to say, oh, why bother? There's actually good reasons to do it. And sometimes you don't know the benefits. It's sort of a trust. You have to put a lot of stuff out there, and things will come back to you. I just want to show you one more quick example here. So a couple of months ago, I get this message from a friend of mine, a younger guy, who's in Florida, and he's taking like a music business or a music marketing course at whatever his local college was there, and he took a picture of this. They had on a screen, the instructor, the professor was showing a video. And he recognized me in the video because it was one that I published many years ago. And he took a shot of it with his phone and sent it. And he goes, look who showed up in my music business class today. And he told the professor, yeah, I know that guy. He's a friend of mine. And I realized that. So basically that was from 2007. And let me just a quick story. And I just think it's just one of many examples. But in 2007, my girlfriend Pookie and I were in LA, and I was going to be attending, and we were speaking at a music conference out there called the Taxi Road Rally. But we loved, hanging out in LA prior to the conference started, and we went to Santa Monica, the Santa Monica Pier, and we were walking along, and I see this guy playing the piano, and he's really good, and I almost didn't stop, but I don't know, I'm a curious person, and I love to talk to musicians and find out, I was curious what the street performing or busking, how this was for him. And he started telling me this story about how he had sold an ungodly amount of like 15,000 CDs in a year and a half. And he started telling me the story, and I realized that I had like this is 2007, so it was like a camcorder or something that I had out in the car, and I just knew this was valuable information. So I said, you mind if I go get a camera out of the car? And because it wasn't on the phone at the time back then. And can I record? Can I interview you and record it? Maybe put it up on YouTube, because I've been on YouTube for like a year and a half at that point. And he said, sure, I'd be happy to. So we did it. We recorded this interview, and the guy not only talked about how he sold the CDs, but he just had this infectious attitude that people loved. And so I posted that in 2007. It's got like 40. Yeah, last time I checked, it's got over 46,000 views on YouTube. So think about that. So something that I recorded 11 years ago is still being viewed and appreciated all these years later. 46,000 people is like, that's a stadium full of people. Just because I took the time to see something of value that I wanted to share with my audience and took time to capture it. All right. So, and I can, that's just one example. I mean, not every video has that kind of an impact, but I have hundreds of videos on YouTube. And so there's just one example of how social media and sharing stuff of value can just benefit the world, and it'll also increase your brand or your notoriety or whatever that is. So but the thing is, but people are afraid to share. In fact, on Facebook 2 or 3 weeks ago, I asked the question, what holds you back from sharing more of your stuff online? And I got a whole host of answers. My God, I was like, people are just plagued with these things that hold them back. And some of them are and I'm not going to address, so I did actually this past week, I did a series of Facebook Live videos where I went through these and actually read the things that people had posted and kind of debunked them, picked them apart in a gentle way. And so I'm not going to go into that very deeply. I'm not going to go into that at all, but just a rundown of the things that hold people back. Perfection. If it's not perfect, they don't want to get it out in the world. That's not going to serve you well. They feel like they're bragging, like to do anything related to your art or to share it. It feels like you're bragging. You feel like you're spamming or some sort of an unethical, manipulative thing. You know, marketing is a bad name for some people. A lot of people, it's like, who cares what I'm doing? Which is also not going to really serve you either, thinking nobody, you're just basically too close to yourself to realize the value that you offer the world. Some people said there's no money in it. Nobody's paying me to do it. So but if that's your motive, there are other byproducts of it that no, you don't get directly paid from that, but you can benefit in other ways. Fear of rejection. Artists are so close to their work, and it's like part of them that they're revealing to the world, and they feel like that if somebody doesn't like it, it's going to be horrible. But that's a fallacy too. So people are worried that people are going to steal their stuff. Again, I'm not going to go into the reasons why these are not really, at least I've never been worried about people stealing my stuff, even though people have. There's a lot more better things to focus my energy on. Lack of time, which is, may or may not be true. Lack of money, just confusion, not knowing what to do. What do I post? How am I supposed to do this? And wanting to get it right. And so a lot of these things just paralyze artists. And so what my advice to you is, it's time to break through, detract, and serve your audience. Don't let these stories that you're telling yourself rob yourself and rob the world of the gifts that you have to offer. So yeah, when I'm gonna get into these 7 things, but real quickly, I'm just gonna be upfront with you and let you know this was inspired by a program that actually launches tomorrow called the 30-Day Share Your Creativity Challenge. And for several years now, I've been doing probably around 2 challenges a year, and each one has a slightly different theme and a purpose, but this one is all about this topic of sharing some aspect of your creativity online. I'm not going to go into a lot of details right now, but I will come back at the end and tell you more about that. But it starts tomorrow, and it's all about developing the habit of sharing your stuff in a way that's authentic and is actually going to endear you to your fans and not piss them off or upset them. And you're going to do it with being given a lot of tools and a variety of ways to share them. I'm just going to give you a little taste of that this evening. So this isn't a big sales pitch. So, so even if you don't sign up for the program, you're going to get a lot out of this, what I'm about to share with you. But I hope you do consider if you really want to do this with a community of people and a whole lot of perks, which I'll explain a little bit later. So yes, we're going to be covering 7 easy ways to share your creativity on social media. Everybody having fun so far? Yes. Now the thing is, before you go jumping into all these tactics, one more thing before I get into the ways here, and that is, what are your social media goals, or even more importantly, what's your big why? So why are you doing this? Because there are going to be times when you're going to get frustrated, or if you don't have a solid why, like your why that you're doing this is the rocket fuel that propels everything. It's like the foundation that you're building all this stuff on. And if you don't have a solid why, you're doing this, so then you're going to have those doubts. You're going to wonder, who cares? You're going to be confused about, why am I doing this again? Just spinning my wheels. But if you have, so I'm going to share with you my whys, and I'm going to encourage you to adapt them as well. Yeah, so here they are. So sharing your stuff online, it accomplishes all of these, 5 things. So 1, it reminds people who you are and what you do. And so you have to be able to be effective. And this isn't just about making money. It's also about making an impact. If you want to improve people's lives and make an impact through your art, people have to know who you are and what you do. And so it's a busy world. People are distracted. And so that just reminds people that, oh, Bob's an author. He does improv too. Kim is a teacher. And, Katie plays the harmonica there. And so yeah, it's just a gentle, regular reminder of what you do and who you are. Also, it allows you to reach people you couldn't possibly reach in the 3D world alone. So if you're reluctant to share online, that means your impact is limited to the people that you can meet face-to-face. And don't get me wrong, face-to-face communication is really powerful. So yeah, talking to somebody in face-to-face, meeting somebody at an event, performing, like being on stage and having them in the room with you, is definitely the most potent, powerful way to connect with people, no doubt, but you're still limited to who you can do that with. Whereas when you additionally share stuff online, you're reaching people you couldn't otherwise. Like right now, we've got, we got people from Canada and, people from all over the country, Phoenix and San Diego. And if I was just doing this as a live event here in St. Louis, where I live, they would be missing out. And so sharing online is a way to reach people you couldn't possibly reach, have a greater effect with your art. Another thing, why is you're motivated to attract and engage with fans and followers in an authentic and a helpful way. This isn't about selling to people or making announcements to them. You actually want to engage with fans and build relationships with them and do it in an authentic and helpful, value-added way. So that should be your motivation. It also helps you to live your mission to serve people through your art. So gets kind of philosophical, but it's really what drives me. My mission or my purpose in life is to educate, inspire, and empower musicians and writers and author or visual artists and what I call creative entrepreneurs all around the world. And so part of that is selling books and making money, but the greater mission is to impact people. And so by getting on friendly terms with social media, I'm able to do that in a bigger way. So that's what motivates. That's a big part of my drive. If I'm ever tired or wondering, I got to create another image or video or something, is part of a greater mission to impact people and leave a legacy. And then it creates opportunities for wider exposure and sales. So just like those media things came to me because of my web presence. When you're visible online, things come up, and you can't predict these things. Like if you go in there going, I'm going to post on Facebook 3 times a week so I can land a gig at XYZ club, or you know, do a specific thing, that's probably, it may or may not work out that way. But if you just do it from a sense of sharing and wanting to, you know, positively impact people, there'll be unexpected things that'll come to you that you never could have planned for, including sales and people who want to hire you and buy your stuff, if you just get it out there. So yeah, those are all the things. Those are all my big whys, and hopefully if you can embrace them, I think you'll be a lot better off. All right, we ready to dive into it? I think we are ready for number 1. How are we doing here? I'm going to be talking a lot, so I'm going to take a drink every now and then. All right, so number 1 is the perfect antidote for creatives who are worried about coming across like they're This is like a Batman. Hang on a second. I don't have a proper windscreen there. So if you're worried about your social media posts seeming to be bragging or marketing or rubbing people the wrong way, this first one is perfect for that. This is not about you at all. One thing that you can post is to celebrate a fellow artist's accomplishment. And I hope feel free to take notes here. I think I will link to this this is a PDF of my slides or whatever that I can link to in the comments. And if you want to reach out to me, I can also send you a link to these, but feel free to write these down just to reinforce them, as I think that'd be very helpful. So yeah, so shine the light on other people. So this is not all about you. I would never ever insinuate that sharing your work online is all about self-promotion and me. So this is a great way to do that. So yeah, give someone a shout out. Share their event or their photos. Here's a couple of examples. On the left there is a friend of mine, Amanda Ray. She had an album release party some months ago here in St. Louis, and I went and attended it, got my picture taken with her and posted it, you know, online. I said, yeah, having a great time at the CD or the album release party at Evangeline's, which is the name of that club. And so, yeah, I'm in this photo, but I'm shining the light on her. It does a secondary job, though, of also reinforcing that I'm involved in music and I'm supportive of my local music scene and music in general. So even though that wasn't my motivation, strategy, I just wanted to take a picture with her and share it because I thought it was a cool thing. It does have that slightly more strategic benefit to part of my, reinforcing who I am and what I do. On the right there is a picture of this holiday like craft kind of thing that my friend Laurie, she's the one in the red with the Santa hat on, and she had this event where she had all this material, invited people to come over and create ornaments, and I was part of that and took a picture of them doing their thing and posted it on Facebook as just like, hey, here's a cool thing going on. And so, again, I'm not in this. It's not about me, but it's sharing cool stuff that my friends and people that I respect and admire are doing. And again, this is creative, so it sort of ties into who I am and what I'm about. And so that's a really easy way if you're worried about shining the light on yourself, which I think you need to get over a little bit. This is an easy way. I said there's be 7 easy ways, right? So that's something easy that you can do. So if it helps to take photos of things or share the event or share, so yeah, visuals are really important online these days on pretty much every platform. All right, cool. So we're moving on. Number 2, I have found that one of the most easy and pop things that really resonate with people are quotes, like usually either inspiring quotes or funny quotes. Like I love the one on the right there. We have creative differences. I'm creative. You're different. It's I like that. Should be on a t-shirt. So and it used to be years ago, I would just copy and paste the text of a quote and post that as an update on Facebook or Twitter. But as I mentioned, this is a very visual medium. And so, and these visual quotes are they're available. So what I would do is go to Google and just type in quotes on and then name the topic, quotes on love, quotes on art, quotes about discipline or whatever it is. hit the results and then click the images tab, so Google Images, and scroll through it and find one that you like. These things quite often, I mean, I know normally I wouldn't be encouraging you just to grab images off of Google and use them, but you're just sharing them publicly. These things are pretty safe, and a lot of times people are creating them to be shared because they have like their web address, like that one on the right has a whatever that is, cherrybam.com. So I think you're okay to share the visual quotes, but yeah, post those maybe, and also maybe include the text in the update. But visual quotes are really powerful. So that's another way. And if you make the quote about your identity, like if you're an author or a writer and you're posting quotes about writing, it sort of like reinforces who you are and what you do. All right, another real super easy thing that you can do that's not about self-promotion. All right, here's another one. So this, along with that, I'm sorry, you can also create your own instead of finding them on Google Images. So here are just a couple that I created with a similar background. In case I haven't mentioned it lately, I appreciate you. Just a little positive message to my followers. Another one, you're too close to yourself to recognize your own brilliance. I think those are my quotes. Yeah. And in the one on the right, I even put my web address at the bottom, bob-baker.com. So if you want to take this, take another couple extra steps, you can actually create quotes of your own, whether they're yours, or even take some of your favorite quotes and redesign them over an image. I use a website called canva.com, canva.com. It's free, and it's amazing list of templates and things you can put text over, and but there are many other. You can use PowerPoint or whatever design software you have. But yeah, create some of your own quotes. Just sit down and knock out a bunch in a half an hour, and then you'll have them to sprinkle through your social media updates and make them related again to what you do. Like I know my friend Larry is a bass player. Maybe you could have a whole series of visual quotes on bass playing, or whatever your genre is, So again, tie it into your identity. But this is and people respond to these things and share them, and so it's pretty cool. All right, so that's number 2. Let's head on to number 3. Another really cool thing is to ask questions. Now, here's the thing: I'm going to give you, that's one thing I'm going to do in this challenge is every week I'm going to give you, for the 30-day challenge, at the beginning of every week, I'm going to send out like a list of 7 to 10 ideas. So by the end of it, you're going to have 30 to 40 different things to choose from. Just don't do any one thing repeatedly day after day. You can have a variety of types of things that you share related to your art, so that you're always mixing it up. So you're not always asking a question every day, although you could, I guess. Question of the day. But yeah, but have variety and do stuff that's authentic and cool and true to who you are. But questions are great because one of the most important things to keep in mind is engagement. It's a word that's been pretty hot in social media for a number of years now, but you want to do more than just make announcements. You just don't want to have one-way conversations. Sometimes you can, but often you want to engage with people and encourage them to leave comments and like it and share your stuff. But one of the best ways to do that is to ask a question. In fact, I did this. I mentioned earlier that I collected a bunch of the obstacles that hold creative people back. And there's a screenshot of my Facebook post saying, I want to know, and I even created an image with it. So I just didn't rely on the text. You noticed I also got the question mark in there and the red type. What holds you back from sharing more of your music, art, and creativity online? Looks like I got 25 comments. And then I got I did the same thing on LinkedIn and Twitter and through my email list and so on, YouTube also. And it's got a ton of responses, which gave me material, not kind of an insight into what creative people are struggling with. And it also gave me some material to address in the Facebook Lives that I did this past week, which were tied into the 30-day program, just like this is. So anyways, so ask questions, and they can be a whole variety of things. Here's a little tip for you that I've discovered over the years, that either or questions tend to inspire more engagement than open-ended questions. So mine was an open-ended, what obstacles hold you back? Or if you ask, what do you think about this topic? You're going to get responses, but people, just think about it. People have to think about open-ended questions, and they have to form sentences, and you know, and sometimes people will go, oh, I just don't have the time to do this right now. They want to come back to it, and then they never do. But an either or question is super simple. If they make a choice and they pop it in there, and so you might try to mix in a number of either or questions. I got some silly ones there, but paper or plastic, although you could ask that. MP3 download, do you prefer MP3 downloads or streaming? Authors, certainly, yeah. Do you still buy what you buy more, paperbacks or ebooks? And people will let you know, because it's a real simple, they can respond easily. So the easier that you make it for people to engage with you and even buy from you and all kinds of stuff, the more likely they are to do it. So that's just something to keep in mind overall. So there you have it. Oh, one more thing here. I keep forgetting this myself, so I included it as a reminder for me. But there's a poll feature. When you go to create an update, there's like a series of dots over to the right of your choices there. It says photo, live video, and you click that series of dots, and this whole little menu of things pops up, and one of them is poll. And so you could ask, this would be a perfect thing for the either or, because I think they might limit you to 2 options. I'm not sure, but you can ask the question, like paper or plastic. Option 1 is paper, option 2 is plastic, and post that. And then people not only can vote and clicking on it, but it shows you the percentage of responses too. So that's a nice little feature that you can use. Let's see here. So yeah, so we're rolling along here. That was number 3. Ready for number 4? I think you are. Number 4, here we go. Post a photo of your creative workspace. So I think I might have mentioned it earlier, but here's this, well, artists in particular, but human beings in general, we're so close to ourselves that we take our normal daily activities, our normal world for granted. So you probably have a workspace where you write or you paint or you create music in your home or studio or whatever, and it's just the place you always go. But for someone else especially for someone who's not in that realm, it's like a mystical thing. So showing your workspace and how you create may not be interesting to you, but it could be fascinating for someone else. Maybe not your, geeky music or art buddies, but just for casual fans who are not involved. Well, maybe even for your geeky friends too. They might want to be curious about how you do it, because not everyone works the same way. So it might be fascinating. So yeah, there's just actually on the right there's my friend Vesna. She's a great artist here in St. Louis. That's her painting, I think in her studio or at an event or something, which shows her in action. And then I just got a random photo of someone's like home recording studio there. So yeah, so you can either include yourself in the photos, which I think is ideal because seeing you in them, but if you're like shy about that, then just show your workspace or show different aspects, show the paints that you use, show your computer set up. I'm trying to think of what other kind of art forms here. If you're a photographer, I don't know, show your camera and the lenses, so just to give people a sneak behind the veil of how you create. And you can do that to all sorts of ways. Yeah. But just show your workspace or your workflow or your process in some way. And that can be pretty, again, this is totally reinforcing and reminding people of who you are and what you do. And you're actually showing them how you do it. Unless you're doing some proprietary thing, don't get hung up on, I don't want them to know my secret sauce or whatever. Just get it out there and do it. So I'm wondering, as far as I know, I'm not able to see if anybody's leaving any chat or any questions without stopping the sharing of my screen. But I said I was going to do that about halfway. Let me stop the share to see if anybody's leaving anything. Stop share. Here we go. Now I'm back here. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see who's been leaving some comments here. Hi, everybody. Oh, yeah, we got Luke. We got Ann. Patty Hunter. Looking good, kiddo. Yeah. Hi, Patty. It's good to see you. I remember I was on your show. I have a message for the world. Most of my shows. Okay, I'm learning that. Okay, and then Mishi says, so canva.com is great. So you use that. What about quotes or lines from your songs? David writes. Yeah, that's perfect too. Especially if they're, relevant, or if they say something standing alone as a quote. Oh, sure. Yeah. Share your lyrics and do it. You can do it in the, in the form of a visual. I think that is great. There's all sorts of ways just to take your lyrics. If you could post them, almost like as poetry for people to read. You could talk about what inspired them. Yeah, you can grab a particular line or line from a chorus and explain what it means to you. Yeah, I love that. So does Mishi. Time is not on my side to write lyrics, Patty says. Oh, hang on a second. I have over 110 songs done by singers. Let's see. Hello, I'm not sure if it's Affy. No worries if you're being late. And there will be, I will have a recording of this posted too. I'm recording it to the cloud, and at some point after the recording, it'll be available for those who missed it, or if you missed the first part of it. Doug Diamond, how you doing, man? Good to see you. It's been a long time. We need to chat again. Know you from Berklee, and you're in Nashville. And then Anne, I like sharing the desk workspace idea and also the create memes for the month. Yeah, so every month has a theme, a meme theme. Oh, see what I did there. And Anne's got a cat tail in her face in her video. I don't know. Could you all see each other's videos, or am I okay? Yeah, that's really funny. Oh, I see some people who joined us. Joan Marie from St. Louis, awesome artist. Looks like she's in the house. Carlos, I think other names I'd recognize from earlier, or I've acknowledged. Yeah, cool. Your meme theme rhyme. Yeah, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to the sharing of my screen and continue to the end, and then we'll open it up. Oh, you see Marcia's joining us too. Just wanted to say hi there. Let me go back to sharing the screen. Let me take this over here. Sorry, I'm talking to myself through this. All right, so we had talked about number 4 there. Let's move on to number 5. I guess we have 3 more. So we're making good time here. Whoops. There we go. So number 5 is to share a glowing review, a comment, or some sort of publicity that you received. So again, this ties into the, there's this discomfort about talking about yourself. And I get that, which is actually, that's kind of healthy, because effective marketing and sharing is really not about bragging. It's not about me. It's about what's in it for the person who is, who you're speaking to. However, so what is a nice thing to do is when you can share something nice that a third party did. It's not you talking about yourself. You're directing people or making people aware of something that someone else did about you, or wrote about you, or said about you. In fact, I mentioned earlier how one of my books, the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook, was in the School of Rock. And that was really awesome. Now, it appears for all of like 5 or 6 seconds in a classroom scene. And most people would never have even seen it. I mean, there now and then there's somebody that thinks, oh, I guess you got a lot of sales or a lot of exposure from that movie. I said, no, I really didn't, because most people didn't even think to look at it and missed it. But me telling them that it was in it, and every subsequent edition since then has said, as seen in the major motion picture, The School of Rock. That's where I got the most value out of it. It's just kind of making people aware that it was in the movie, and if they ever watch, I can tell you exactly where it is, but but some people actually spotted it because they knew that it was there somewhere. So go ahead and share when other people say nice things about you. So my friend Dan Rubright, who is an excellent, he's actually a coaching client locally here, excellent guitar player, and he had an album release party at the end of November. And with my encouragement, he reached out to a local journalist who he'd been thinking about reaching out to, and I just nudged him, man, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? And the guy covered it in St. Louis Magazine as a result of him like sending one message to him. And so when it got posted, Dan did the right thing. He thanked the journalist, Thomas Crone. He tagged the magazine's page on Facebook, and then he linked to the St. Louis Magazine article on their website. And that was a perfect thing to do. So when you get some media coverage, share that with people. Over here, when my Passion Principles book came out, Robin Brock, who I know I've been following each other for a number of years, she posted something on Facebook with a link, I guess, to Amazon, saying, I read a copy of this already. What a great book. Secure your copy. So inspiring. And, she said some glowing things, which was very cool. And so what I did is I grabbed a screenshot of that, which I'm going to talk about on the next page here. But so this goes for, Amazon 5-star reviews. Somebody leaves a comment on social media. Anything that somebody posts publicly, it's pretty much fair game for you to grab a screenshot of it or to quote them, because they're doing it publicly. But if somebody sends you something in an email privately, get their permission first, give them an opportunity to maybe to reword it in case they were like dashing something off and weren't thinking about grammar, but if they post it publicly, I think it's kind of fair game because they're already doing that. So official reviews like on Amazon and other sites, there's public comments that people make and unsolicited like Robin did, and then any publicity that you get. And so again, this is a visual medium. And so instead of just saying, hey, I was written up in blah, blah, blah with some text, you can grab a screenshot of it. There's all sorts of ways to grab screenshots, but basically like on an iPhone, the most common way is you hit the home button and the wake sleep button on the side at the same time, and it'll capture exactly whatever is displaying on your screen at that moment. And then you can edit it, or you can crop it so that's just showing the part that you want to share, but that gives you an image, and you can do that on desktops, laptops, tablets. So just Google how to take a screenshot for whatever device you happen to be on. But again, always think visually in sharing. But this whole third-party validation, glowing review, it's a great thing to share online. So these are getting a little bit more and more advanced as I go. They're still relatively easy, but this next one might freak you out a little bit. And that is, I would encourage you cannot go wrong with video, and in particular live video. So I'm going to say either broadcast live, go do Facebook Live, or just about any site, even YouTube and Twitter, I think is linked to Periscope. I think still, even on, I think LinkedIn, you can go live now too. Man, they're all doing it. But either do a live broadcast or upload or record a short video on your phone that you can sort of edit and approve, get a good take, and then upload that. That's the second best thing. I will tell you though, that on Facebook in particular, broadcasting live gets a lot of attention because Facebook is pushing that. And so when you do live video on Facebook, a lot more of your friends are going to see it, especially while you're live. And then they will something that you upload. They'll still see it. And if it's engaging and all that good stuff, but either way, if you're not comfortable with live, that's fine. Then record something on your phone. And here's the thing, I've mentioned this a number of times in these debunking broadcasts that I've done this past week. A lot of people say, I don't have the technology, or I want to hire a crew to do all this stuff. But I'm telling you, if you own a smartphone that came out in the last couple of years, even 2 or 3 years, you have in your pocket a multimedia production studio that will allow you to do everything that you need to do in the short term to reach people around the world, potentially. And so don't say that you don't start making a list of excuses of what you don't have. So if you can stomach broadcasting live, you can also broadcast live and test it where it has a limited audience. So you're not doing it publicly, just to play with it and make sure you got it right. But nobody likes the way they look on camera for the first time that they do it. It's something that you have to practice and just like push through the barrier. But it's a really engaging way. I love Facebook Live, and when people are chiming in and leaving comments and I can interact with them in real time, it's pretty powerful stuff. And not, you know, if you do 10 live videos in a month, they're not all going to get equal attention. Some will get a lot of views and comments. Some you'll hear crickets, but just getting it out there. Yeah, just to do video. And so if you're not convinced, I'm just saying, yeah, find a way to do video in little chunks, because video consumption is just ridiculous, and especially on mobile. In fact, you have to keep in mind that a higher and higher percentage of people are accessing the internet on their mobile device. So I thought I had my phone in here, but I don't. I was going to hold it up. But keep that in mind. So if you're like chained to a desktop or a laptop, and that's how you're judging how people are seeing your stuff, look at it on mobile, because that's how most people. I think on YouTube, like 80% of my views are from mobile devices. But here's a little graph that shows you the growth of mobile. So yeah, find a way to get on friendly terms with video, even if it's just short little snippets. You know, it's great. You don't have to be on the camera if you're uncomfortable. Again, maybe that earlier thing showing your workspace, take a video of the workspace. So you panning it. You don't even have to be in the shot. It's great if you are, or doing a selfie or whatever. So yeah, all these things can be done with images, still images or video. And so just try to do as much video as you can in little bite-sized chunks. And then I think we're on to number 7 here. And this is, I saved this for last, but this is directly promote an event or something you sell. And so you notice that all the other things started off by shining the light on other people. Then it got a little bit more closer and closer to shining the light on yourself. But don't do everything. If everything you posted online or shared online was a direct promotion to buy this or attend that, and it's all one-way announcement type stuff, you're going to lose people. But if you're doing all this other stuff I talked about, and this is just the 7 of them, there's dozens more of ideas. But every now and then do a direct pitch to promote an event or something that you sell. In fact, this very webinar that you are on was probably a result of me directly promoting it. I grabbed a screenshot earlier today. It's on for tomorrow night, 7 easy ways to share your creativity. And here you are. I don't know how you found out about it, whether it was email or whatever, but that was a direct pitch, even though I'm not selling anything, but I'm promoting something that's tied into a paid program. But I hopefully delivered some value for you either way. But yes, mix in directly promoting something. Here are a couple of examples. My friend Chris Swan, who's another coaching client here in St. Louis. Here he is. He does a lot of value stuff. It's not just, and links to like inspirational stuff. He does positive hip hop. But here he is promoting, get your three free MP3 downloads here. And yes, he's promoting a free thing, but it's building his email list. And it's a direct promotion, a direct ask, if you will, a call to action that's tied into building his list and building his fan base. On the right there, so I mentioned improv. I do these monthly shows at the place called the Wolf Cafe out in Baldwin. And so I promote those especially the week leading up to the show. I'm making regular posts in a fun way. So I'm sharing the event and going, oh my, this is 2 days away. Celebrate the holidays. This was last month with laughter. And I explain, if you've ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, you know what to expect, etc. And so, yes, every now and then, or actually, if you're sharing all that other stuff that's not about you and not boastful and all that, people will be very forgiving and maybe actually appreciate the fact. Like, what if I was too shy to share this webinar? I just said, oh, well, people will find it, and I'm going to soft pedal it, and you may not have been here. And hopefully you're thankful that you are. And so, yeah, by just being a little bit more proactive or confident in that what you have is of value to people, yes, go ahead and make these direct pleas, So those are the 7 things. So a couple more things I'm going to share with you, and then I'll go back to the comments and maybe open it up if anybody wants to have any conversations about this stuff. But just once again, remind you about this 30-day challenge, this latest one, the 30-day Share Your Creativity Challenge. So if you benefited from this and you think that committing to that it would behoove you to develop the habit, I would encourage you to consider joining this. It officially kicks off tomorrow, the 7th, and goes through like February 6th. And here's some of the perks that come with it. So, first of all, I'm going to post a couple of links. Well, I'll do that after I come out of sharing. I'm going to post a link to this, and also a link to the PDF of all these slides that you can maybe grab before we I wrap up the broadcast here. But a simple, the easy to remember URL or website to go to learn more about this challenge and to register is getimportantstuffdone.com. That should forward to the current challenge. So getimportantstuffdone.com. So what do you get when you register? There's a modest fee for it, but it's really affordable. You get a private Facebook group where a lot of the activity takes place, where people interact and support each other, and it's very energized, supportive group, because quite often as artists, we're doing stuff alone and we feel isolated. And so when you have a group of like-minded kindred spirits to sort of help you along and go on the journey with you, it makes it a lot easier. If you like this Zoom call, I have weekly calls with the people who participate. Those are on Wednesdays, starting at 11 a.m. Central for 5 Wednesdays in a row, starting this coming Wednesday. And we talk about, issues related to the challenge and your wins and obstacles that you're coming up against. And we have some great conversations on those calls. Beginning of every week, I will give you a checklist of ideas for new ideas, fresh ideas. You don't have to stick to these. I'm not saying like on Tuesday, do this thing, but it's like, here's a smorgasbord. Here's a buffet of things to choose from. So you'll never have to go, what do I post? I don't know what to do. And you pick something off the list that's inspiring for you that day and post it. And also I'll have videos explaining the different things and kind of cheering you on along the way that I'll be posting in the private group. And so, this should be fun. It should not be a burden. And so I'm encouraging participants to really post something every day. And I know that's intimidating for a lot of people. I'm not saying you have to do that for infinity, but if you force yourself to get in this, it's all about developing the little habit of doing something on a consistent basis. And if you were to go 30 days and post something, even if it was simple things like quotes and questions and and photos that you take at events or whatever, with the regular ask, direct promotion of something that you're selling or an event or that you're doing, if you develop that habit, let's say that after the 30 days you cut back and maybe you're only posting 3 or 4 days a week, that's probably way more than you're doing now. And so the whole thing is develop the habit, get on comfortable terms with it, so after the program you're kind of up and running and you have a different frame of mind about this whole stuff. You also have the option to get be paired up with a success partner, someone that I would encourage you to talk to maybe 3 days a week. And that's one of the really powerful things about this. I would encourage you to take advantage of that. It's free with your registration. But I only want to pair up people that are really going to live up to that commitment and connect with each other 3 times a week. But I've been doing these for several years, and some really powerful friendships have been developed and partnerships as a result of those. And people meet each other in the Facebook group and on the Zoom calls and end up doing stuff together and visiting each other when they come to their cities. This is really cool. And then, basically exclusive access to a community of people. Like I said, you're not doing this alone. So that's the gist of it. getimportantstuffdone.com. And then just real quickly, I've mentioned a couple of times throughout this, I've highlighted some of my coaching clients. That's one of the big transformations this past year is I'm doing a lot more one-on-one coaching and consulting. So if you think you could use some advice and someone to help you get clear and identify your priorities and all that good stuff, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. Just reach out to me, let me know what you're up to and what how you think I might help, and let's see if we can find something that works for you. So I'm gonna circle back to what's your big why. So remember why you're doing all this stuff is to remind people of who you are and what you do. It's to reach people you couldn't possibly reach in the 3D world alone. Is to attract and engage with fans and followers in an authentic, helpful, fun way. I like to have fun, that's for sure. It's to live your mission to serve people and do good through your art, to leave a legacy and create opportunities that you don't even know, you had no intention that they would lead to, wider exposure opportunities or sales or people that want to hire you and so on. So I hope I've stated my case of why you should be sharing more and enjoying the process. So I'm going to stop the share here. Let me, and I'm going to post a couple of links in the comments here. The first link goes to the 30-day challenge page where you can learn more about it. The second one is the Dropbox link. Let's see here to the there we go. The first one at Medium, yeah, this is privately to Ron. How did that happen? I'm not sure. Hang on a second. Oh, to everyone. I gotta post that again. Ron, you got a private message from me. Yeah, from me to everyone. And the Dropbox link is to a PDF of all these slides that I just went through. If you'd like to check that out and have that available to revisit. So cool. Let me see. Did I miss any comments here? How much is it? Example, so I'm scrolling up to where we were memes. Mishi says, as an example for me, for number 5 was posting a picture of a marquee with my name on it. Yeah, from a dive bar here in town. I remember that. Yeah, Mishi's been playing. I've been really, after years, decades of being running a pottery studio in Phoenix. She really was pouring a lot of energy into her music career and songwriting, and that's really exploded for her. And yeah, so she saw her name on the marquee, took a photo of it, posted it. That's really cool. It's a great example of that. Super excited to have my name up there, but I never expected them. Oh, they got a ton of likes. That's the best thing about it. You got a ton of likes and comments that you had no idea. Someone should talk sometime. Lots happening. Oran says that. Okay. Oh, that's why it was a private thing. Sorry. Okay. For the share. Oh yeah, share your creativity challenge, Pally. Where do I go? There's that link that has all the information on it. Yeah, Mishy's already signed up for the challenge, so she's doing it. It's got to be cool. This is like the 3rd or 4th challenge that Mishy has been involved in too. That's thing we should talk sometime. Okay, you are buffering. So did I start sounding a little weird there for a while? Thanks for your insights. You'll be hearing from me. Good night. They're always valuable. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is just, I'm going to unmute everyone, I suppose, and just have a little party line here before look, it's right at the top of the hour. I guess I timed that out perfectly now. So I've unmuted everyone. You may still have yourself muted, but if you want to just say something or hey or nothing. Hi Joan Marie, I can see you now. I see Patty and I see Kim and Ann and Mishy.
Hello.
And I see Katie's harmonica.
There
Still. Wow. So also, there's Doug Diamond in the flesh there. Probably your home studio. I don't know. Maybe you don't have a home. Do you have a home studio, or are you like those pro guys with separate?
Yeah, it's both. It's both.
It's both. Yeah.
Studio. It's home studio, but I've got a couple different rooms, so I'm in one of them.
Cool. So there's an idea for you to share. You could share photos and video from every room.
There you go.
Yeah. There's an idea for you. And yeah, Joan Marie, are you in a car? Are you sitting next to a window? Where are you?
I'm sitting on my couch.
Oh, you're sitting on your couch. Okay, I see a little light. Oh, it was just a lamp. It looks like
it's
it's.
just a
I guess the
lamp.
sun's not shining
Yeah,
anymore.
there we go.
It looked like you're in a van pulled over the side of the road. That's awesome. I'm so glad that everybody could tune into this and be casual at home, and you can, sit in your robe or whatever, or whatever.
Yes, that's right.
So that's very cool. Have your cats swinging his tail in your face there. So this has been awesome. Thank you all for tuning in. Great. I think Kim says they're great to reconnect. I appreciate that. And so, I would love for you guys to participate in the challenge. If it speaks to you, or if you know someone who would benefit, please pass this on to them. We're gonna have a great time. And do you think I should do more of these Zoom calls, just kind of an ongoing? I'm thinking of doing like a monthly or 2 a month. I don't know, something just to share more. It's a way to teach without having to go to a classroom. Would you be up for that?
It's a nice direct connection. Definitely.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome, cool. Well, I guess I will bring this to a close. Well, I'm going to stop the recording here and then going to sign off.
Nice to see everybody.
Bye.
All right, so long. Have a great Sunday and a great week. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you all soon. All right.
Bye-bye.